What is up guys, it's your boy Solam here, and today we're covering how to make gold on the official hardcore servers for Classic WoW. I have made multiple videos on this topic already, and there are quite a few more that will come out over time, but in Classic WoW there is simply so much to talk about for gold making, it is insane. The opportunities are endless, and it's all about knowing how to take advantage of the opportunities presented to you. Today we will focus mostly on crafting and out-of-the-box gold making methods, basically some basics and some low-key gold making strategies that you might not have thought of. Once again, I will try to cover farming as little as possible, as I have a whole separate video series planned for launch week that will show you a bunch of farms, so even though I might touch base on a couple of farms in this video, it is not meant to go in depth on the farming topic. I should also say that I do have a gold making guide for these hardcore servers, which you can find a link to down below if you want access to even more of my gold making secrets, which also includes access to a private Discord server for classic goblins. So let's make some gold. First up, you need to know which professions you are going to choose. Different professions have different pros and cons, and you have to think about how you want to make your gold. For this, I will highlight two main crafting strategies: passive gold making and active gold making through crafting professions. Passive gold making is where you make gold on a daily basis or a couple of times per week by logging in and performing a craft that has a cooldown attached to it. Within alchemy, this can be to transmute Arcanite bars, or even transmute Essence of Undeath into Essence of Water, if you can get your hands on that recipe. You also have the Mooncloth craft within tailoring, and the Salt Shaker from leatherworking to create cured rugged hides. These crafts by themselves will not make you rich, but they do allow you to safely accumulate gold over time, and with an estimated profit of 5 to 10 gold per day, this starts stacking up pretty quickly to where you can make between 150 to 300 gold per month per profession, if you have both alchemy and tailoring on one character for example, and the estimated profit per day on these crafts are 10 gold each, that is 20 gold per day per character, giving you 600 gold per month while only having to log in for 10 seconds per day. Now from there you can spend your time leveling up more alts and repeating this process. In order to skill up a profession to the skill needed to start doing these crafts, you will need to be level 35, so it is a significant time investment per character, but considering these are semi-passive profit, you will get for the rest of your time, or for the rest of time, it is incredibly worth it if you ask me, especially if you enjoy leveling to begin with. The good thing about this type of gold making is that there is pretty much zero risk involved, but there is once again a time investment required when leveling up alts. But it is very scalable, because once again, assuming 10 gold profit daily per craft, you can make up to 600 gold per month per character by having two professions. Of course, that number is currently a fictive number based on what we made in Classic WoW, so let's just cut that in half to 300 gold per month per character, that is with both professions. Now once you get 3 characters set up, that is 900 gold per month for barely any work at all, literally logging in and pressing a button 3 times per day. You can use the profits from your first craft to set up a second character, use the profits from those two to set up a third character, and so on until you've built a passive gold making empire generating thousands of gold per month. Now moving over to active gold making within professions, this is where things start getting interesting and a little bit scary at the same time. This is where you need to find crafted items of high demand with profit margins, and use the gold that you're making to turn it into even more gold by buying materials, crafting something with it, and selling your crafted item for an upsell. Now what has usually worked for me, or worked very well for me actually, in the past is crafting elixirs and potions, and pre-raid best in slot items. Now for armor crafting though, many recipes are locked behind endgame content such as dungeons, raids, world drops, or reputations, so unless you plan on doing endgame content, this will not really be the right fit for you. But going back to alchemy, most of the profitable alchemy crafts you either learn straight from your trainer, or you can buy them on the auction house, as they are for the most part tradable, making it the perfect gold making entry for literally anyone. I will probably follow up with exact examples of what I will craft for profit when we're actually playing the official hardcore series and have established the hardcore economy, so we know more about the supply and demand structure. Now let's stick with alchemy for a little bit longer, as this is where I want to introduce the main out-of-the-box gold making opportunity for this video, which is specifically relevant due to the hardcore series being a one-life server. Potions on demand. Take the major healing potions for example. These can be used at level 45 plus, but nobody will find them at level 45, since you usually start finding them in the level 50s. Now players will want to have health potions in their bags all the time just in case something happens, because once again hardcore series means you only have one life. Health potions are more valuable than ever before, so what I mean by potion on demand or potions on demand here is, imagine you are level 46 and you have started questing in Tanaris. You bring a couple of health potions with you, but you suddenly run out while questing and you have none left in the bank, but you know you want to have potions just in case something happens. Maybe you overpull, aggro an extra mob, or literally anything. In this case, you would have to fly all the way back to Orgrimmar or Stormwind, then either Hearthstone or fly back again. But what if someone was selling potions in the general chat in Tanaris and advertising that they could meet you and trade you the potions? As the person selling the potions in this case, you could even charge an upsell, because you are saving them the time it would take to go to a capital city, plus unless they use an add-on, they don't know the current auction house price. In this case, even if a major healing potion sells for 50 silver on the auction house, you could potentially sell it for over a gold each in Tanaris, or any other zone for that matter. Now, potions on demand could be a great way to make some extra gold in the early stage of the game, or just in case you're fishing in Tanaris for stone scale eel or anything else, just advertise your on-demand business while doing your other business. Now, one more thing is the fact that we are also going into these hardcore servers with all of the content being unlocked, meaning that dire mole farming and Sulgurub farming will probably be a thing in one way or another, but they both also massively increase the risk of dying, so it's a huge risk versus a possibly increased reward in terms of gold per hour. For example, hunters will be soloing bosses for raw gold or disenchantable items, or blues in this case, mining runs, bloodvine and classical farming in Sulgurub and so on. You will also probably see some Maraudon farming as well. But once again, it's a huge risk versus reward ratio compared to open world farms, but having access to all of these things is important to know, because it massively increases the demand from certain items from the very start. For example, routing this video all the way back to the start, Mooncloth was pretty much useless until phase 4 of Classic WoW in 2019 when Sulgurub came out, and then the demand and the price spiked through the roof, leading up to phase 4 as people started stocking up on Mooncloth. This time around, that demand will be there from day 1, and anyone having tailoring early on could potentially cash in on some pretty huge profits from selling their cooldowns. The same thing goes for leatherworking in Alchemy 2, since the demand for Arcanite bars will be huge, and the demand for cured rugged hides will also be huge. More content available means more and better crafted gear also being available, which simply needs these materials. Now that is pretty much what I have for you today, just a quick video talking about professions, active gold versus passive gold, and introducing the idea of potions on demand. Once again, this is only one of possibly, well, definitely multiple gold making videos coming out, so if there's something you felt was missing in this video, I will probably cover it very soon. Alternatively, if you want early access to gold making videos and access to a private gold making community, on top of getting a 134 pages long gold making guide, you can check out my gold guide for the hardcore servers through the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.